I am glad we're
Okay.
doing this actually, because most of the movies I've been watching recently have been horror movies.
Really?
You know, I was rewatching like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, Nightmare on Elm Street.
I still haven't really seen any Texas Chainsaw Massacre or uh, Nightmare on Elm Street
I
movies
know you've
yet.
seen the first Nightmare on Elm Street, and that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And I've seen Freddy versus Jason.
And Freddy vs. I did rewatch that one as well. Yeah,
Fantastic movie.
yeah, parts of it are. The stuff
You
with
know,
Freddy and
originally
Jason.
they were going to make a sequel to that, which would have been Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Really? Huh.
Yep. But I think it was Bruce Campbell wasn't on board for it, or like something else fell apart, and so they ended up turning it into a comic series
That actually
instead.
would make sense because Nightmare on Elm Street and The Evil Dead, at least the first one, were both New Line Cinema productions.
Yeah,
So that could have worked out.
and they both made reference to one another throughout different movies in the series.
And also, Hostel. I actually watched all three of the Hostel movies in the same day, which was probably a mistake. But Final Destination, I think I watched. I watched those as well, which I don't really like those ones, to be honest. Like, some of the death scenes are entertaining, but that's about it. I remember Saw, a few of the first two Saw movies, which Saw is overrated. I'm not going to get into that. And I also think this, but getting back to Evil Dead, I'll give the movie this. It's better than at least two movies that it influenced.
Yeah.
Those being Cabin Fever and Cabin in the Woods. Awful movies.
Really? You don't like Cabin in the Woods?
No, I do not.
I still haven't seen it, but everyone that I've talked to, like, absolutely loves the film.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you one reason why I might not like it, and that's Joss Whedon wrote it.
Oh, no.
But
I have not enjoyed a single Joss Whedon thing.
well, besides like the Avengers and
Even the Avengers movies he was involved with, they were okay, but
what was oh yeah, he was like a co-writer on Toy Story.
oh, okay. He gets a pass on Toy Story. He
Although
can make
there's like
kids
four
films.
writers on that, who knows which parts he
Yeah.
contributed. And I've never seen Firefly. I don't know if that's any good. Or Buffy. I've never seen Buffy either.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of those either.
Most of the stuff I've seen is I'm still mad at him for Alien Resurrection, okay? I'm still mad at him for that movie. Ever since we did that podcast, I just,
that was a hard movie to finish.
I'm just grateful that I never have to sit through it ever again.
That's what you think.
Oh, fuck you. Are you gonna, just pull a Clockwork Orange on me, just pry my eyes open and force me to watch it? Christ. I kind of have this weird problem with horror movies where I can't really approach them the same way most people do.
Yeah.
Because most people judge them by how scary they are, and it's become harder and harder for a horror movie to scare me.
I think that's something that I kind of have too, which might be why I ended up laughing so much at It Chapter 1. But this movie genuinely unnerved me.
It does? Okay. Huh.
I actually did find it, pretty scary, especially compared to, other, horror films.
There were some good there were a few jump moments that startled me, I will say that.
And it might have just been the atmosphere that I watched it in, because it was the middle of the night. I turned off all the lights except for, a desk lamp nearby so that I could take notes.
Maybe that's why. Maybe I don't watch them with, the lights out.
I was also drinking at the time. I had a few Moscow Mules prepared, so.
But when I watch a horror movie, I try and look at them, They either have to be one
objectively,
of two things. They have to either be really good from like a story, character, and technical standpoint,
Yeah.
or they have to be so bad that they're hilarious. Which, or somewhere in between. Somewhere in between helps.
Yeah.
That being said, there are a few that scare me. I will say John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
I do think is really scary. And the first Halloween has some pretty intense moments too.
Especially the ending of Halloween.
Just the shots of like Michael Myers just staring
Yeah.
at stuff. Like there's that one shot where he they think they knocked him out. He just gets up, and you see his head turn. I love that. That's such an eerie moment right there. And also part of it might just be that I know too much about the filmmaking process now. So the illusion is broken a bit, but
yeah,
right. It's gotten harder and harder for a movie to like really impress me, when I'm watching it, just because I guess I just have too high of standards now. So.
Somewhat of a side note, there was this recent movie. I forget what it was called, but it was I think it was Hereditary is the name of the film. I've had a friend repeatedly recommend, she's like, oh, this is going to be like the greatest horror movie that you're ever going to see. I've only seen one scene from it, and I knew that I could never take it seriously. It's the scene where the kid gets decapitated by sticking their head out of the car window and hitting a light pole.
Actually, I think I saw part of that movie. And that scene right there, I laughed my ass off.
I saw it and it broke me. I was like, I can never take this movie seriously. Who did the score for this?
I don't know, but
it looks like Joseph Loduca.
Oh, apparently he did music for all 3 Evil Dead movies.
Huh. He did Spartacus.
Oh, and My Name is Bruce.
Oh, really?
Which was directed, co-produced by, and starring B-movie cult actor Bruce Campbell. Okay. We're doing that on a future podcast.
Have you never heard of that one before?
I forgot it existed until now. I've heard of it, but never seen it. But we're not going to do it like immediately because we have to do 2 more Bruce Campbell movies. We can't do like 4 Bruce Campbell movies.
It's the Bruce Campbell special.
Maybe when we do the Spider-Man movies, then we'll get 3 more Bruce Campbell movies in a row. And Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi. There we go.
And then we'll do the Xena Warrior Princess scenes that all have Bruce Campbell. Only his scenes, not even the episodes he appears in, just the scenes.
Just review the scenes. I've never seen that show, actually.
Neither have I.
I've only seen clips of Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. A show which, if I watched, I would probably be disappointed! They have dinner. The fuck is that?
I can hear it, actually.
That's not my phone. Okay. God damn it. Ancient Egypt had like a Book of the Dead, right?
Yeah, well, their Book of the Dead is slightly different. It's because I've actually read parts of it for a class that I took. It was like Magic in the Ancient World.
Oh wow, that's
so it has burial rites, but it's also a set of instructions for traversing the afterlife.
That's right, yeah.
Because you basically have to go on a journey in order to like reach heaven, essentially.
You have to like weigh the same as a feather or something.
Yeah, your heart has to weigh the same as a feather to show that you're pure.
I remember that because there was this Sesame Street special we watched in art class that took place in an art museum. And there's one part where Big Bird and Snuffleupagus, they meet this Egyptian kid. And he explains all this stuff to them. Anyway,
Big
that's
Bird
getting.
gets tried for his purity. What the hell is this?
It's called "Don't Eat the Pictures," I think. Have you heard of this?
I have not heard of this. What the hell?
I've seen it multiple times because we watched it several times in that art class back in like elementary school. And Oscar the Grouch, he sees some broken statues. And he starts singing about how like they're broken and beautiful, because he likes garbage. So of course. But yeah, it's really weird.
What the hell?
So out of place. Like you watch the other two movies, nothing like this happens.
Things like it do happen in the TV show at certain points.
Well, that's the
There
show.
is an entire episode where the whole thing is a fight between Ash and a single deadite in a sperm bank. Oh, there's also the episode where he's fighting possessed intestines inside of a like a morgue, and it ends up pulling Ash's head through someone's asshole.
What?
There are some weird episodes in season 2 and 3.
That sounds like more like something that happened in South Park.
So I guess this scene does get its spiritual successors later on, but not in the movies.
Yeah, your favorite movie on the whole podcast.
Yeah, my favorite movie.
Or is it just your favorite movie? No, you mentioned Shawshank.
Yeah, no, it's my favorite movie that we've covered on the podcast.
Would it be in like your one of your favorite movies of all time? Like,
it might be. See, my favorite movies, but it's kind of fluid. I don't really have like a strict like list, but I do feel like it is one of my favorite movies of all time. I feel like it's in that realm.
I've tried making lists of like my favorite movies, and there is some consistency, but there are parts of it that like change and like move around.
Yeah.
Like my default answer used to be Taxi Driver, and currently it's Being There. But
I mean, I have to say, after binging Tarantino movies, those have definitely moved up.
I don't know if a Tarantino movie would be in my top 20.
Really?
Because
for me, I definitely put Inglourious Bastards up there.
It's entertaining, yeah. Like if I was gonna put a Tarantino movie as one of my favorite movies, I'd probably choose like Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, those ones make sense. You mean to tell me you're not putting Jackie Brown up there?
Surprisingly, no. That wouldn't even be in like my top 10 Robert De Niro movies.
It's honestly my least favorite Tarantino film.
It's good, but it's like it's not as memorable as some of his other ones.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would rank his movies, but
the climax of that movie is good, but
I feel like part of it is just I feel like he just got like over the years he just got kind of high on himself a bit. Maybe that's what
Yeah.
So now his movies are like 3 hours long, and like you're just like, oh my gosh. And I don't know, it doesn't seem like he evolved to like a higher level. I don't know how to explain it, but like
I kind of get what you're saying. Like I feel like he peaked at Inglourious Bastards. Then Django was really good, but it was like a little lower down. Then Hateful Eight kind of went down, and then
I liked Hateful Eight more than Django Unchained, actually.
Really?
Yeah, Django Unchained kind of dragged for me in parts.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like it was good, but I just
Yeah.
I also just think it was just a weird. I feel like Tarantino doing a movie about slavery is just kind of
Yeah, that does feel a little weird. But he has a history of writing characters for himself where he gets to say the N-word. So
I don't want to get into like the racial politics and stuff of this, but it just
Yeah.
I do like Inglourious Bastards though. That one's a funny one.
Yeah.
I mean, Hitler blows up, so... And there's a David Bowie song.
True.
An anachronistic use of a David Bowie song.
A very anachronistic use.
I don't even think David Bowie was born yet.
I don't think so.
Tarantino, I think my views on him are just... He's found a distinct style.
Yeah.
And his movies are usually entertaining, but I don't know. I just feel like... I don't know how to explain it, I guess. Like, I don't think he's a bad director or anything, but I just think he can be kind of full of himself. So
Yeah, he can be.
You know, I've never met him, obviously, but you know, I've seen interviews with him. He's just what is it with him and the foot fetish too? I mean,
I don't know. That's one of the weird. Yeah. Anyway,
I won't judge him for it. We all have weird fetishes, but anyway.